In an unexpected turn of events, former U.S. President Donald Trump found himself at the center of a global news cycle involving El Salvador and the world of cryptocurrency. This development has taken many by surprise given Trump's previous stance on digital currencies. El Salvador, a small Central American nation, made headlines in 2021 by becoming the first country to adopt Bitcoin as legal tender. This bold move was part of President Nayib Bukele's vision to modernize the country's financial system and attract foreign investment. This decision, while praised by some as a forward-thinking innovation, was met with skepticism and criticism from others, including global financial institutions. Critics argued that the volatility of Bitcoin could destabilize the nation's economy and harm its citizens. Trump, known for his outspoken nature, had previously expressed his own doubts about Bitcoin, calling it highly speculative and a potential threat to the US dollar. He had often warned that cryptocurrencies could undermine traditional financial systems and lead to economic instability. However, in a surprising twist, recent reports have emerged linking Trump's business ventures to El Salvador's Bitcoin adoption. This unexpected connection has left many wondering about the former president's true stance on digital currencies. While the exact nature of these ventures remains unclear, sources suggest that companies linked to Trump have been quietly investing in Bitcoin mining operations in El Salvador. These investments could potentially be part of a larger strategy to capitalize on the growing cryptocurrency market. This revelation has sparked a wave of speculation and debate, raising questions about potential conflicts of interest and the future of U.S. foreign policy in the digital age. Analysts are now closely watching how this situation will unfold and what it means for the relationship between the United States and El Salvador. The intertwining of politics, business, and digital currency continues to create a complex and evolving narrative that captures the world's attention. El Salvador's decision to embrace Bitcoin was driven by a confluence of factors, marking a significant shift in the country's financial landscape. President Nayib Bukele, a young and tech-savvy leader, saw Bitcoin as a way to attract foreign investment, boost the country's economy, and position El Salvador as a pioneer in the digital currency space. His vision was to transform the nation into a global hub for cryptocurrency innovation. One of the key motivations behind this bold move was to provide financial inclusion to its largely unbanked population. In El Salvador, a significant portion of the population lacks access to traditional banking services, and Bitcoin presented an opportunity to bridge this gap. By leveraging digital currency, even those in the most remote areas could participate in the financial system. El Salvador relies heavily on remittances from citizens working abroad, which constitute a substantial part of the nation's GDP. Traditional money transfer services often come with high fees and delays, but Bitcoin offered a potentially cheaper and faster way to send and receive money, making it an attractive alternative for many families. The use of Bitcoin for remittances could significantly reduce transaction costs and increase the speed of transfers, providing immediate financial relief to recipients. This innovation was seen as a way to empower individuals and stimulate local economies. However, the move was not without its challenges. The adoption of Bitcoin as legal tender sparked debates and concerns both domestically and internationally. Bitcoin's volatility raised concerns about its stability as a currency. The fluctuating value of Bitcoin posed risks for everyday transactions and savings, leading to skepticism among some citizens and financial experts. Additionally, technical difficulties and a lack of infrastructure also hampered adoption. The implementation of a nationwide digital currency system required robust technological support, which was initially lacking. Despite these hurdles, El Salvador pressed ahead, investing heavily in Bitcoin infrastructure. The government initiated several projects to build the necessary technological framework, including the construction of Bitcoin mining facilities powered by renewable energy sources. To facilitate the use of Bitcoin, the government launched a government-backed digital wallet called Chivo. This wallet was designed to be user-friendly and accessible, aiming to make the transition to digital currency as smooth as possible for the citizens of El Salvador. The Chivo wallet became a central tool in the country's ambitious plan to integrate Bitcoin into everyday life. During his presidency, Donald Trump was openly critical of cryptocurrencies, particularly Bitcoin. He viewed them as a threat to the US dollar's dominance and expressed concerns about their potential use in illicit activities. In 2019, he famously tweeted, "I am not a fan of Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies which are not money." and whose value is highly volatile and based on thin air. His administration pursued policies aimed at regulating the cryptocurrency industry, and his Treasury Secretary, Steven Mnuchin, called for stricter oversight. Given his past stance, the news of potential Trump-linked investments in Bitcoin mining in El Salvador has come as a surprise to many. Section 4. Implications for U.S. politics. The revelation of potential Trump-linked investments in El Salvador's Bitcoin ecosystem has sent shockwaves through U.S. political circles. Critics have accused Trump of hypocrisy, pointing to his previous criticism of Bitcoin and questioning whether his actions align with his rhetoric. Some have even called for investigations into potential conflicts of interest, particularly if these investments were made during his presidency. The situation has also reignited the debate about campaign finance reform and transparency in political spending. While the details of the alleged investments remain murky, the controversy has highlighted the potential for foreign money to influence U.S. politics through the opaque world of cryptocurrency. Section 5. A shift in international relations. El Salvador's adoption of Bitcoin as legal tender has sparked a global conversation about the future of international relations. This bold move, coupled with the involvement of individuals and entities potentially linked to former President Trump, has raised intriguing questions about the evolving landscape of global finance. As digital currencies gain traction, the traditional financial systems and the power structures they support are being challenged in unprecedented ways. Some experts believe that Bitcoin could erode the dominance of the U.S. dollar as the global reserve currency. This shift could have far-reaching implications, potentially altering power dynamics on the world stage. The U.S. dollar has long been the cornerstone of international trade and finance, but the rise of Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies presents a new paradigm. If Bitcoin were to gain widespread acceptance, it could decentralize financial power, reducing the influence of any single nation over the global economy. On the other hand, proponents of Bitcoin argue that its decentralized nature could foster greater financial inclusion. For developing countries, this could be a game changer. By bypassing traditional financial institutions and systems often controlled by Western powers, these nations could gain more autonomy over their economic futures. Blockchain technology, which underpins Bitcoin, offers transparency and security, potentially reducing corruption and increasing trust in financial transactions. The situation in El Salvador could serve as a test case for how Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies might reshape global finance and geopolitics. If successful, it could inspire other countries to follow suit, leading to a more decentralized and inclusive global financial system. However, the transition is fraught with challenges, including regulatory hurdles, technological barriers, and the volatility of digital currencies. As the world watches El Salvador's experiment, the outcomes could provide valuable insights into the potential and pitfalls of a Bitcoin-driven economy.